Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, here we go. Because, you want our seasoned food, you want our cooking, but you don't want us. And then you show your MAGA tears and everything. And it's so funny how you keep wanting us to cry. And there are some people who only voted for the orange guy, and or like some of them literally said they only voted for him to hurt us, to hurt black people, to hurt people of color, to hurt women, to hurt people with disabilities, to hurt veterans. Like some people literally said the only reason they voted for him was to cause pain and suffering. But then they go to church. These people, they go to church on the Sunday and say praise God, amen, hallelujah, and all of the garbage they do. As I'm a Christian, so I'm not calling like, but it's like at the same time, I'm more spiritual than Christian because I'm seeing the ugly side of Christianity. I'm seeing the hypocrisy. Because it's really funny how many of the Republican people who who were voted in, they say they're Christian, all this other stuff, but they're so hypocritical, and they're just like, don't judge me. I'm going to do all of these sins. I'm going to do all of these things against the Bible that the Bible says not to do, but I am going to pass laws to make sure you are not allowed to do the sins either that I'm not going to do anymore, or I don't think I'm going to do anymore, or the ones that I'm either not brave enough to do or I would never do. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, we've all heard her history. We've all heard her history. And then her little friend, Lauren Boebert, they have a lot in common, especially when it comes to men, marriage, and relationships and things and affairs. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, but then they want to keep judging the LGBTQ community and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. But it's crazy how, like, because even there was that one Hexeth or what, yeah, like all of the things we found out about, like some of us, we've been known because we've been here, heard the reports, and like we heard of the possible cases that were going to go against him and stuff like that. And there's many others, and also like some that were running for office, or some that were like associated with Moms for Liberty, where it's moms for burning the freedom to read, freedom of education, freedom to force people to be uneducated, naive, no good little bigots. That's in my opinion. That is in my opinion. That's all Moms for quote unquote liberty is for. It's like they're for liberating people in a cage, forcing them to not be able to be open minded upon their own opinion. They want to force them to agree with their opinion, which isn't liberty, which isn't liberating, which isn't, yeah, freedom at all. But they don't care about freedom of speech. And they don't want kids to be able to start learning about opinions that are different than their parents. It's like, I know, it's like I'm an example because I was brainwashed within my church. That was like, so many times, like, I didn't know until later. I questioned it because even in high school, I was like, I'm a Democrat. I don't fit Republican. Because I remember I would ask my teachers more questions because they would, like, with history, they would talk about politics, and they start talking about like both sides. And I was like, my bishop says I'm a Republican, but I don't fit Republican. And I remember after class, I was asking one of my teachers this question, and it's like he was like, well, then if you're not a Republican, you're not a Republican. And I remember I was like, but my bishop says I am. And he says that and I even told him about how he invites people of the Republican Party at the church and tells us to vote for them. And I remember, like, I didn't know I was snitching on my bishop, but I was like, I was just saying, like, giving examples because I'm like, all of this stuff is happening and I'm confused and I don't know. And because I remember it's like we had to raise our hands about being Democrat and Republican, but I didn't really raise my hand. And the teacher looked at me and he was like, which side? And I'm like, I don't know. And I have questions. And I was like, I think Republican, but I don't. And so it's like I remember he was just like, okay, never mind. And I think he just thought I didn't understand because yeah, my twin is the smart one. She's the perfect one. So he has her too. So he it's like he didn't think I caught on. But after class, once I stated what was going on, I think he realized, no, I with my religion, I am and with my family and the brainwashing that I've been through, I really do not know. And so anyway, especially within America and the Republican Party, especially with MAGA, especially with a lot of the hate groups. And that gets me too. There's a lot of people who are like, well, well, if you've been watching my episodes, you already seen some of the screenshots of MAGA Republican men telling me Democrats are the ones that own slave. Democrats were the, and I'm like, okay, they switched parties. Like, if you're going to learn your history, make sure you learn all of the roots of that portion of history. If you're going to only try to learn the things that's going to help you, because as a Democrat, Democrats aren't perfect. Democrats still have some areas where they need to fix and stuff. And so I'm never going to say they're perfect because there's some Democrats I'm just like, especially those 10 that voted against Al Green. Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourselves. And I can't stand you. I don't like you. And I hope you don't get voted back in. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay, so now we're going to kind of get into the dirt, get into everything and stuff because, yeah. And as most of you know, if you've been listening, my channel is as messy as my life. So, yeah. Anyway, when it comes to like even that one real estate agent, Stephanie, and she had the nerve to go because and the thing is she lied about it. Just like a lot of Republicans. It's like when they get caught, they lie. When they are put in a corner with all the proof and evidence and everything, they lie until they're suffocating in their lies and they need air to breathe. And in order to breathe, they have to tell the truth. And it's like, I have one of the videos where this great gentleman is talking about how a guy got pulled over by ICE. And even because the sound of his voice, when he said, I'm a citizen, the guys looked at each other. They're like, do you believe him? Do you think he's telling the truth? And it's like a lot of people of color, a lot of brown people, they don't want anything to do with black people. It's like they know our history, they know what we fought for. But then after our ancestors fought for those freedoms, they literally, now they're like, oh, okay, we don't need those anymore. It's like, I'm not one of them, so we don't need them anymore. I don't care if that hurts black people, but it won't hurt me because I'm not one of them. I'm lighter than them. I have straighter hair or whatever. It's just like, oh, but then you get pulled over by ICE, right? But then you get pulled over by ICE, right? And a lot of MAGAs, looking back to the MAGA tears, you got really mad about that SNL skit with Black Jeopardy. And I'm still trying to understand, I'm still trying to see how and why did you get so upset about Black Jeopardy? Why get upset about it? That's not us. You can't say that us. Okay, in Ohio, white group came up on purpose in a majority black town. And then the police, any tear gas? No. Any tasers? No. Anything to help defend or protect the black people? No. Of course not. While the hate groups are hanging their flags and being absolutely horrible human, like I can't even call them human, like being absolutely horrible beings. They want to treat people like garbage. They want to yell out awful, profane things and degrade. While we have a current president who called Africa an S-hole country and then kept wanting to say black jobs, he still hasn't defined what a black job is. Yes, I'm sorry. He still hasn't defined what a black job is. It was vice president. It was vice president. And if he wasn't going to keep lying about, I'm going to lower prices, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do this, and then go and do the exact thing. Like once he got voted in, never mind, I'm going to do everything I said I wasn't going to do because that's going to make me and my billionaire friends richer and not have to pay any taxes. And that's going to make Elon, who I pay to help me win even more. I wonder how many of these people, if they knew how much he was lying, if they still would have voted for him. Because remember, a lot of people didn't care if he lied. As long as he was going to hurt black people, people of color, and women, LGBTQ, people with disabilities, veterans, they don't care. They want to watch us be in pain. Men on dating apps wrote me telling me, oh, now I get to see how much you're going to hurt. Now I can see how much pain you're going to be in. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. One guy last week just wrote me. No, it was earlier this week. No, it was this week. I can't wait to impregnate you so then I can I can watch you have a forced abortion. I can be the cause of your abortion, something like that. Yeah, because I'm a Democrat. He doesn't realize all of the reasons some women need to have an abortion to save their lives. It's like most of you men don't know about fibroids. Most of you don't know about so many of the other health issues and complications, and like how many women I know where they lost teeth because the babies were literally like they weren't getting enough vitamins and minerals, so the baby was literally getting it from their enamel in the teeth. I've talked about this in other episodes. So many men are so highly uneducated when it comes to women's health. Why we have the OBGYNs. Thank God we have the OBGYNs. Because so many men, you guys do not know anything about us and you don't care anything about us. You want to use our bodies, and that's about it. It's like right now, it's like I ended up matching with a couple guys last week and I've been entertained. It's like even though I'm not able to get as many trolls because two of the dating apps changed, I think like I know they used to keep deleting the images because whenever I get a troll, I would screenshot them and put in my portfolio because I'm like, you know what? Let them see that I'm showing everybody else what you wrote me. I don't care. Let them show that you guys called me the N word, the R word, the C word, the B word, the P word, any of the other words. Let them see that you called me a slave. Let them see that you said that I wish we can go back to Jim Crow so maybe I could own you. Yeah, all of that. All of that. I let them see it. Some of them are proud. Some of them write back, yeah, I'm glad you showed that. Yeah, let them see. I want them to see how much of a B I think you are. Yeah, I think you're pathetic. I think you're worthless. Yeah, show them my messages. Make sure you show my messages because I'm such a terrible, awful human being. Yeah, show it. Yeah, because you're nothing but a B word anyway. Show it. Yeah, they're proud of it. They're proud of it. So okay, now, okay, let me get back. So I was like I said, my episodes are sloppy. So and I talk a lot around in circles, but for a reason, for a purpose. Back to Stephanie and her no good dry no crocodile stupid tears bigot. Okay, back to her. Yeah, back to the bigot, the real estate bigot. This is my in my opinion, all of this, all of my episodes, all in my opinion. But if you guys haven't seen the videos, because a lot of people are talking about the situation and her and everything, but this girl went to a restaurant and ordered food like you normally do, but she went to, like, I believe it was an international type of restaurant. I believe Hispanic, but I could be wrong. But when she got the bill, instead of tipping, it's like with the credit card and everything, she wrote that I hope you get deported. And then she scribbled, she forgot. See, this is the thing. You have to plan, if you're going to plan out bigotry, you got to think. And this is why I know a lot of bigots are highly uneducated. They're not that smart. Because she forgot that there's two copies. She forgot that there's two copies. She scribbled out her name on one of the copies, and she wrote that I hope you get deported on the other to her Hispanic waiter. But yeah, but then people don't. That SNL skit, that's not right. You guys shouldn't do that. That's not us. We're not racist. You can't say that about us. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And you guys just keep feeding us more evidence. You keep proving it to us more and more. You keep making sure that we are reminded why we should never shake your hand. Why we should never part, like, because people keep saying, okay, guys, the Democrats, you guys need to talk to them. You guys need to befriend them. Befriend somebody who wants me deported? Like, oh no, well, like, I'm different. Like, I'm black. My ancestors are from slavery. So I'm just saying, for example, I'm just saying, like, because they're probably going to try to debunk. Part of me is just like, my birth certificate, my ID. Like, yeah, nah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, anyway. It just, I'm just flabbergasted. I'm shocked, amazed, but I'm not at the same time because I've lived in America, and I have lived in America while being black. I have faced racism, and I have told, and like I've told white women about my racism, but then sometimes white women are the ones you have to be scared of the most because they don't care the most. They think it's amusing, they think it's funny, and or they will find out an excuse to make the racism okay. Mrs. Masher, Mr. No Heart's mother, when I told her about the time I was in Flint with my ex or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I tell the story in a much earlier video, so go catch up. But yeah, that officer fondled me. It's like he and pulled me over because first he didn't believe that was my car. And then he told me the reason was because my college tassel in the vehicle was hanging. And it's crazy because it's like now I get nervous when other people have their, like, fragrance things hanging, or their tassels, their dice. People have anything and everything but the kitchen sink hanging from their mirror. But it's like all I had was a tassel. All I had that, and he said that's why he pulled me over. But once he pulled me over, he was like, "Is this really your car?" And then he saw my registration, proof of insurance, ID, everything, and he hated that I proved it. So then he was like, "Okay, I need to look into your car." And I'm like, "Why? What's going on?" And he was like, "If I don't look into it, then I'm going to arrest you." And so it's like, this is so many years ago. It's like I didn't know all, like, and I was scared, I was nervous, and I wanted to do nothing that would get me arrested or hurt. And my ex boyfriend's in the car too. And it's like, I think he had a record. I forgot. It's like, sorry, it's so many years ago. And I've talked about him before. I hope the best for him. Sweet guy, nice guy, but he gave up on himself. But anyway, it's like he emptied out my purse in my bag, made a mess all over the car, whatever. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to pat you down. And my ex, it was just a couple minutes. But with me, he kept patting certain parts of my body. You guys already know which parts. And he kept saying, oh, you get all of this. And my ex is white. So he was just like, how'd you get this? How'd you get to play with her? Oh, I bet you get a lot of fun. But you're not going to keep her, right? You're not going to like I'm property. But yeah, I told my ex or my now current, like, well, not my current ex, but the man I dated for 7 years, Mr. No Heart, I told his mother, Mrs. Masher, oh, he just pulled you over because you're so pretty. He had to figure out an excuse to talk to you. That was her, that's what she said. That was her reaction. And so back to Stephanie, because it's like people don't know how careful, like, or they don't know how a lot of white women, they need warning signs because they are not like, they, no, to a lot of us, there are villains because they will try their best to hurt us, to ignore us, to devalue us, to dismiss our feelings and the actions that have been put upon us and everything like that. They don't care anything about us. And also, they don't think we deserve anything, and or they think that being especially a black woman, they always think I must be lazy, I must not be worth the time, the energy, the effort. I must not be educated, or if I do have the education, I was just given it in pity and all of this other garbage. But back to Stephanie, because she wrote that right and she didn't scribble out her name on both of those forms, right? And she's a real estate agent. Well, they found out who she was. They looked her up and did all the information. And she was on camera too, because, yeah, so when she lied, oh, it was great because when people started circulating the information and showing the receipt, all of a sudden, someone stole my ID. Someone stole my credit card number. It wasn't me, but the other cameras. Cameras were beautiful. It was amazing. It was like chef's kiss. Mm, perfect. So that now it's like now she has some kind of fundraiser thing, I guess for lawyers or whatever, or because she's a pilot, like, I made a big mistake, but now I'm trying to fix it, and now I'm trying to do this, and I lost my job because, and it's just like, because you're a bigot, because you're racist. It's like, with everything going on, some megas are celebrating the pain. Some are celebrating that they are ruining some people's lives. And yeah, some people are either still trying to go through the systems to be citizens. Some people like had to fight injustice and warfare or whatever from the country they were in. And it's like with the Statue of Liberty, with the quote that's on the front, to them that means something. But I just feel like for the people that are already in America, it means nothing. And to those who go to church, who read the Bible, certain scriptures mean nothing because what we're doing, we're literally hurting people. They want to say all lives matter, but do you want to change that definition? Do you want to change that definition? Because if Stephanie wants to claim that she's a Christian, yeah, writing that on someone's receipt, that shows you don't have a heart. It's like being heartless. At least that means you don't feel. But then it's like, at least she doesn't feel anything. Other than now, she's trying to get fundraise money so she can. I don't know what she's trying to do, but to me, I'm just like, okay, we know you're a bigot, so maybe just, and I keep repeating it on purpose because a lot of people, they want to ignore their bigotry. They want to ignore their racism and their hatred for others. They want to ignore the pain that a lot of people have faced within their life and just how they've been excluded on purpose because of either being in the LGBTQ or their race, nationality, or their gender. And it's like, yes, I separate those two on purpose. And also disability. I know all about that. But it's just disgusting and awful and degrading. And so when I think about the SNL skit with Black Jeopardy and stuff, it just makes me understand more and more. Like, I think one reason why they hate it so much is because they hate seeing themselves. They know that represents them, but they don't want the world to know. It's like with, and also back to the white supremacists that went to Ohio and everything like that. The police escorted and helped them. One of them had their, not leader dog, their this, well, the dog that helped him with his disabilities and everything. I know it was a therapy dog, but I forgot which type of therapy dog. I believe there's like 2 or 3 different kinds, but, and I don't want to say the wrong one. But I mean, they were just assisting and assisting and assisting. But, and then one of the cops was even like, "Oh, well, with the way you guys were treating us back in the day with Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff," he was like, "I still helped you even though I didn't agree and I didn't." Okay. And this is where I'm like, maybe if some cops, like, even maybe there needs to be documentaries or just films or something that shows the perspective of a lot of Black people like myself. Because whenever I tell my story, MAGA doesn't want to listen. And there's been at least 4 or 5 different white women. "Well, you're so pretty." I'm not that pretty. And really, I'm not pretty. I'm average. And even if it was because I'm pretty, it's like, what about, like, because a lot of them have white daughters. Okay, so what about, how come this hasn't happened to your white daughter then? She's pretty. Because I remember when I said this to Mr. No Heart's mom, Mrs. Masher, she was so upset. She picked up her beer and walked right up those stairs. And I kind of enjoyed it too. I kind of enjoyed it too. Because you're going to have the nerve to say that the cop, basically, you gave him permission, you gave him an excuse of, he just, like, even with the one that followed me for 15 to 20 minutes from off the expressway, like, I was on the expressway, drove, like, we were on the expressway for like 15 minutes, got off the expressway, and then light after light kept followed me all the way to the driveway. So at least like 20-minute drive. Turned on his lights after I opened my door, after I opened the garage door. All of that was open to prove that I live here or live at the house or whatever. But yeah, and then he had his nerve to say, "You don't look like you live here." That was his response. "You don't look like you live here." But at the end of the day, with Stephanie, you want our seasoned food. And a lot of you guys, a lot of MAGA, you want our seasoned food, but you don't want us. You want our you want our festivities, you want our celebrations and things like that, but you don't want us. Oh, except for Juneteenth. You don't want anything to do with Juneteenth or Pride Month and stuff like that. So select, or African American Month. You only want the ones that help you be able to be drunk and out of, like, outright crazy. But anyways, this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too. And I'm going to talk more about Stephanie in another episode. Take care.